Adrian sank into depression, no appetite, no will to move. I brought the lilies he loved most. He flicked them a glance, then tossed them into the trash. I put on a clown costume and danced on the sidewalk just to make him smile. He looked away, ice cold. You know I'm a sucker for looks, and you still parade around in that thing? Disgusting. Get lost. I thought I'd messed up again, made Adrian unhappy, until his phone rang and his childhood sweetheart's name lit the screen. In a heartbeat he was radiant. Serena, you're staying? Perfect, I'm on my way. He left me standing in the middle of the night market, never once looking back, so I really was nothing more than a stand-in. This time I didn't cry or rage. I just called Mom. I'll go abroad with you and Dad. When Adrian finally came home he was still wearing the clown costume, soaked to the skin, eyes glittering with exhilaration. Clearly the party wasn't over. I glanced at the torrent outside and felt my throat burn. To win one smile from her, he'd worn the very outfit he called revolting. Hand in hand through the downpour, they must have been deliriously happy. When I used to beg him to pick me up on rainy days, he'd shut me down cold. I hate rain. Call yourself an Uber. Loving someone and being loved, I saw, were currencies that never traded one for one. Didn't you see my texts? Do you know how long Serena and I waited? The moment he spotted me on the couch his face chilled, as though I owed him millions. I was on the phone with Mom. I didn't see them. My answer was flat. Excuse, he sniffed. You know Serena and I grew up together. Why the jealousy? She stood up to her parents to stay here. The least I can do is show her around and help her unwind. A tiny smirk tugged at his mouth as he finished. I watched him disappear into the bathroom, wondering what memory had made him smile. A sweet replay of the night? Or the thrill of seeing me jealous? Buzz. His phone jittered on the coffee table. Serena. I picked up. He's in the shower. Oh. Just checking he got home. Tell him it's my fault he's drenched. Don't be mad at him, okay? She hung up before I could answer. I could picture the smug tilt of her lips. She's always held the high ground, of course she's smug. Still, a stubborn flicker of resentment made me key in his passcode and open WhatsApp. Top of the chat list, babe. Not me. The turquoise ocean avatar belonged to Serena. He'd long since unpinned me. Our message threads were night and day. My dozens of texts vanished into silence. Adrian flooded Serena with every mundane update, meals, books, new songs, random dogs, and drifted leaves. Even when she replied with a lone emoji or not at all, he kept pouring love out. Maybe we're the same species of fool, Adrian and I, only we worship different altars. I don't want to be a stand-in anymore. I won't exhaust myself for someone whose heart is a projector looping his first love's face. Let them have their happy ending. Let me go. A clean break, quiet and dignified, will be my last gift to him. All night he stayed in the bedroom, but his laughter spilled through the door. See? He's no iceberg. He can laugh until his cheeks hurt, just not with me. If we game together he never cracks a smile, only berates me for every missed move. I apologize even when my chest feels caved in. Well, I'm done caring. The morning after the storm is bright. I used to cook his favorites, today I buy only mine. I pack what I can carry, everything else hits the trash, including the framed selfie on the nightstand. Adrian sleeps like the dead, earbuds in, still voice chatting with Serena. By the time he stumbles out it's 3 in the afternoon. He never touches leftovers, and he's picky as hell, something I use to orchestrate my days around. I don't head for the kitchen. Let's eat out, I say evenly, then hit the concert. Last week he surprised me with Beacon tickets. I danced like a fool, sure I'd finally melted the glacier. I hadn't, so consider this our closing number. Sure. Adrian had just nodded when his phone vibrated. He glanced down, a pleased curve tugged at the corner of his mouth, and he hurried to the bathroom to take the call. He really was that happy. I watched Adrian's back as he walked away, a bitter ache threading through my chest. A stand-in is always a stand-in, she'll never get the treatment the real thing receives. And on top of that, she's played for a fool. A few minutes later he came out. Luna, sorry, the label needs me for a deal. Let's do the Beacon another night. I'll bring you a present when I get back. He was already out the door before the words finished leaving his mouth. I didn't expose his lie, didn't try to stop him, just acted as if I hadn't noticed and kept packing. By evening my suitcases were zipped. I ordered a DoorDash order, collapsed on the couch, and idly flicked through my TikTok feed until a familiar figure flashed across the screen. It was a short clip of Serena and Adrian, cheek to cheek at the beacon, singing along and waving LED wristbands. I remembered the night he'd asked me to the concert, exactly when Serena was supposedly flying back overseas. Clearly, she had been his first choice. I was only the fallback. I tapped into Serena's profile, photo after photo of her and Adrian, chatting, gaming, chronicling their everyday rituals. Every caption dripped sugar. Forever my childhood night. Another all-nighter with big bro Adrian, still buzzing. Distance can't dim us, we miss each other across oceans. My nose stung. Maybe heaven, afraid I'd crawl back in humiliation, shoved her post in front of me. In the past I would have speed-dialed Adrian, demanded explanations, erupted into a fight. Then he'd hang up, hit me with silent treatment, and wait for me to cave. This time I simply booked my ticket. 2 days and I'd be gone. Why humiliate myself further? When Adrian finally came home, Serena and a handful of friends trailed behind him, ready to crash into a party. I hear Luna's an amazing cook, wow us, Serena chirped. I've been cleaning all day. I'm beat. Not happening. My voice stayed flat. Oh? Serena blinked, then pouted. You don't want me here? Luna, quit the drama, Adrian snapped, brows knitted. I hadn't said a word. That's the difference between being treasured and being disposable. One of the buddies egged it on. Come on, sis, Serena's Taylor's bestie. Show some respect, after all. He didn't finish, they all laughed. I knew the rest. I'm just the stand-in who must keep Adrian happy to keep her title. Enough, Adrian cut in, rare for him, and sent 2 guys out for beer. Music blasted, voices soared, Adrian and Serena danced themselves breathless. I stayed in the bedroom, yet every shout sliced through the wall. Is Luna still sulking? It's my fault, really. Serena's practiced mean girl act floated in. So petty. Taylor, why keep a girlfriend who dissed you like that, right? You and Serena are the real match. She just slipped through the cracks. The chorus crescendoed. Adrian didn't defend me, only barked, drink and roll the dice, shifting the spotlight. I could already guess the insults piling up. No point volunteering for more ridicule, better to vanish. Mom chose that moment to call. I grabbed my phone, planning to head outside for air while we talked. But the instant I opened the door I saw them, Adrian and Serena welded together in a heated kiss, whether from the liquor or long-buried desire, who knows. Their faces were flushed, lips sticky, reluctant to part. Adrian, look how evil they are, setting such an embarrassing dare. Feel my cheeks, burning, Serena whined, guiding his hand to her face. A bet's a bet, can't be called a sore loser, Adrian laughed, then spotted me, his smile freezing. The room fell mute. We're playing dice, loser's penalty, he offered, recovering. Yeah, Luna, we grew up side by side, we kissed tons as kids, no big deal, just fooling, Serena added. Blame me, sis, I picked the dare, another friend said. Lighten up, it's nothing worth flipping over. Same old script, blame the victim, guilt tripped me into swallowing it. Before, I would have shaken, cried, demanded justice. Now my chest only felt tight, anger seemed wasteful. I'm not upset. Keep going. If the couch is cramped, take the bed, I don't mind. I turned away, ignoring Serena's sudden tears and Adrian's darkening face. He chased me, first time ever. Past episodes ended with me stranded, this was new. All our friends are watching. Stop the scene, come toast Serena and apologize, he ordered. So much for change, he only hated the scene I'd caused his first love. I'm not staging anything, I meant every word. I kept walking. Luna. He caught my arm. Since when are you this irrational? Serena's crying, can't you hear? Resistance offended him, 6 years of submission had become his baseline. Right, I'm irrational, I said, shaking free. My heart had simply iced over. He didn't follow. He'd assume I'd lick my wounds and crawl back, tail wagging. If Serena had stormed out at midnight he'd already be combing the streets in panic. Once, she posted from a bar, the photo showed a booth full of shady guys, Adrian tore over there in pajamas. That same week a creep tailed me home after work. I told Adrian and he diagnosed me with paranoia. I called the cops myself, the stalker was arrested. I checked into a random hotel, spoke to mom, showered, and slept. Relationship abandoned, Adrian abandoned, my mind felt light for the first time in years. That night I slept soundly. No longer did I hug my phone till midnight, waiting for Adrian. No longer did a single word or gesture from him toss me between hope and despair until the insomnia won. The next morning I woke to a sliver of sunrise slipping through the curtains. When I picked up my phone, I found dozens of missed calls and hundreds of texts from Adrian. Where's the antacid in the apartment? Serena has a stomachache. Luna, where are you? Why aren't you home? Why won't you pick up? Text me the second you see this. For the first time ever, Adrian was frantically, desperately looking for me. And, as always, it was for Serena's sake. In almost 5 years together, he had never done a single thing purely for me. A little pathetic, really. Partly out of spite, I let the messages sit. I ate breakfast out before I headed home. The living room looked like a war zone, bottles everywhere, cigarette butts swimming in cold leftovers. On the couch, Adrian's hair was a wild mess. Clearly he and Serena had had themselves a night. Otherwise how could he be this wrecked? He opened his eyes slowly. The instant he spotted me, he sprang up and stared me down. Where were you? Why didn't you answer me? You've never stayed out all night, are you? Before he could flip the script and accuse me of cheating, I cut in. I cleared out so you and Serena could have space. Considerate, right? Adrian's mouth opened, then closed. Nothing came out. Besides, the party was too loud. I like quiet. You used to say you loved crowds and noise, he mumbled. Used to like doesn't mean still like. I almost confessed that I'd never liked it, but that sounded melodramatic, something that would only touch me, so I swallowed the line. Last night was just a joke, a game. Serena's made it clear we're only friends. Don't overthink it, okay? He grabbed my arm, rushing to explain, his normally distant eyes flickering with panic. Even his voice sounded different. Surprising. In the past he would have iced me out with a careless sentence, end of discussion. Today he explained. Afraid I might lose it and go after Serena? When I stayed silent, he dug out a white gift box and thrust it at me. Right, I bought this for you yesterday. He cracked it open eagerly. I felt nothing. Inside lay another brow pencil, exactly like all the others he'd given me. It wasn't that I scorned the thing. It was that when Adrian picked gifts for Serena, he racked his brain and stayed up all night researching. For me, always an afterthought. Forget it. At this point, arguing would be pointless. Seeing my blank face, he hurried on. Let's hit Riverside today. Sure, we can walk around. I agreed. I wanted one last look at the city. Too many memories were stitched into its streets. At Riverside, Adrian asked what ride I felt like. I blinked. The cyclone. In the past he never asked, he simply dragged me along, as if I were a decorative spare part. He pulled me into the queue, then bought me ice cream to cool down. He never used to do that either, so why the sudden warmth? If he'd acted like this before, I'd have been giddy. Now I smelled an ulterior motive. Otherwise why the show? Just as we neared the front, Jordan buzzed. He glanced at the screen and hesitated. Answer it, I said. What if it's something urgent? I could see the caller, Serena. Adrian exhaled in relief, then answered like a starving man lunging at food. Serena, what's wrong? Adrian, my head, it hurts, can you bring me some pills? Her soft sobs floated through the speaker. Can I have someone else drop them off? He asked, frowning. My brows lifted. This was new. The old Adrian would have bolted to her already. Instead, he stayed, feigning interest in the cyclone. Adrian, do I annoy you now? Fine, forget it. The mean girl act complete, Serena hung up. Adrian's face darkened. He looked at me. Can I go check on Serena? Go. Calm, indifferent. I'll be right back, he promised, finally smiling as he hurried away. His back disappeared fast and final. I was the one left behind, again. All today's warmth had been a mirage. But whatever, no point overthinking. I boarded the cyclone alone. While it plunged and twisted and my stomach floated, I screamed until my throat stung, releasing everything. No more pretending, no more shifting myself to fit someone else. Riverside had dozens of rides. I rode nearly every one. By the time I left it was after 10. Adrian texted once, something about the heat and going home early. He seemed to have forgotten he'd said he'd come right back. My flight left at dawn, so I showered, grabbed my suitcase, and headed for the airport. Hope you and Serena are happy. I sent that text, powered off my phone, and boarded. I leaned against the window as the city's glittering quilt shrank beneath us. Once I'd dreamed Adrian and I would plant roots there, conquer it together. I'd even fought Mom over him. When she learned I was dating, she asked to meet him. Adrian bailed last minute and ran to Serena. So mom tagged him unreliable and rude, against us from the start. But love had me deaf. Even when my parents threatened to cut me off, I refused to bend. Eventually they let me go, hearts heavy. Mom had been right. No matter how lovely the fantasy, now I could only carry the memories and leave. Would Adrian ever regret it? Maybe, but it no longer concerned me. Out of the gate I spotted Mom craning her neck. "Mom," I dashed like a kid. "My sweet girl." After 2 years apart, she hugged me tight, voice breaking. "You've lost so much weight. I'll fatten you up." Her familiar warmth melted my armor, tears slipped free. "I'm sorry, Mom. I should have listened." For 2 years she'd worried herself sick, wiring money she feared I needed while I wasted every ounce of effort pleasing Adrian. "You're home now," she said, eyes gentle, zero blame. "Life isn't a straight line. We trip, we stand, we move forward." Dad took my suitcase, his eyes were red too. We ate out, then drove home. "Luna, come see your room. I decorated it myself, what do you think?" Mom tugged me inside. Blush pink everywhere, my favorite. I hadn't lived in pink since moving in with Adrian. Blue had ruled our place because he liked it. "I bought you new clothes, too." She flung open the wardrobe, dozens of dresses, shoes already paired. Every single piece was in a style I loved. "To pick these out for you." Your mom dragged me around for 2 solid days, my legs almost gave out, Dad teased. "Casey, love you guys." My nose stung, I blinked hard, hugging Mom before moving to Dad. I'd dated Adrian for years. I knew every preference of his. He never learned mine, he just kept telling me what to do. Warm moments like this had been almost non-existent. Only now did it hit me, I was Mom's treasure too. Why put up with anyone's crap? Why keep humiliating myself? Leaving had been the right call. I napped for a while, then finally switched my phone back on. It vibrated non-stop. Dozens of texts, dozens of missed calls, all from Adrian. I didn't want to answer, but when he rang again I hesitated, then picked up. "Luna, listen, yesterday Serena was in rough shape, totally listless, couldn't even eat, so I stayed with her longer. I didn't mean to ditch you at Riverside. Let's go back to Riverside tomorrow, okay?" He spoke in a frantic rush. "No need. I'm already in Italy," I said evenly. "What?" Adrian froze. "We're done." That note I left? "Sincere congratulations to you and Serena." My voice was calmer than it had been days earlier, stripped of any emotion. "Where in Italy?" "I'll come find you," he insisted. "No contact is better for both of us." I was puzzled. He only ever cared about Serena, had always treated me with arctic silence. Shouldn't he be thrilled we broke up? Shouldn't he announce his love for his first love, Serena, already? Why chase the stand-in? Weird, whatever. I had let go. I didn't want to see him again. "Luna, we can talk things through like we used." That was then. This is now. "I compromised on everything because I loved you, I don't anymore." I cut him off. This is. He stammered, then snapped, "You pursued me first, Luna. Now you dump me out of nowhere? What game are you playing? Years together and it's this fragile?" Listening to his accusations, I almost laughed. "Would you keep cradling a stone you know will never warm up?" A long silence from him. I hung up, but he wouldn't quit, pleading for one last meeting, begging me to reconsider. I inhaled, deleted his contact, and walked out of the bedroom. Mom was right there holding chicken soup. She must have heard everything. Before I could speak she smiled and said, "Don't overthink. Drink the soup, then let's go sightsee." "Okay," I smiled back. The next few days, before starting my new job, I snapped photos everywhere. Carefree, light, I felt nothing tugging at me. Then one of Adrian's buddies added me to a group chat filled with his friends. "Luna, having fun playing dead? Lost Taylor now, huh, haha. A guy that amazing was doing you a favor and you threw a tantrum, serves you right. A stand-in throwing attitude? Idiot much?" Taylor and Serena already flew abroad, regret won't help even if your guts turn green. Buy us presents and maybe we'll put in a good word. I want a MacBook. PS5 for me. Their true colors disgusted and amused me. I typed, "You've got it backwards." I dumped Adrian, he's not worth my love. The chat went dead, then exploded in question marks, followed by disbelief. "Ask Adrian yourselves," I added before I quit and deleted every friend tied to him. I'd endured them only to please him, no more. Half an hour later they bombarded me with friend requests. All said, "Sorry sis, we were wrong, don't be mad." I blocked everyone. 2 quiet weeks passed. I started work at Dad's invested company, gathering experience. That evening a thin drizzle drifted down. Under my umbrella I strolled the street, loving the gentle rain, until a familiar voice cracked behind me. "Luna." I turned. Adrian stood unprotected, soaked. His once pale handsome face looked haggard, stubbled. His dull eyes flared the moment he recognized me, and he rushed over like a madman. "Luna, it's really you. I've searched forever. Aren't you abroad with Serena?" I asked, brows raised. "I didn't go with her," he shook his head. "I went back to Paris, then came to Italy, to find you. Can we talk? I need answers, and I have things to say." His gaze poured emotion. "Fine." I nodded and led him to a nearby Chinese restaurant. The rain, and his dramatic drenched look, was drawing stares I didn't want. Both hands wrapped around hot tea, he took a sip, then asked earnestly, "I still don't get it. You loved me so much, how did that vanish in days? Found someone new?" His eyes pinned mine, hunting for lies. "There's no one else. I tired of being the only one rowing, tired of no response." "You never loved me." His fists clenched. "If I didn't love you, why stay 6 years? What you felt wasn't love. You used me as Serena's substitute. You got used to my devotion. A forced melon isn't sweet, but it still quenches thirst, right?" I stared at him flatly, sighed, not from regret, only resignation. Sam, he was still delusional, unwilling to face himself. "Serena and I are merely, just friends?" I cut in. "You crossed that line ages ago. Everyone thinks you two belong together. You know you can't let her go. You're unwilling to accept anything less. You want to spend your life with her. My face is the living evidence. Instead of lying, be brave and admit it. At least then I could respect you." I shredded every excuse. He looked like a thief caught red-handed, panic-stricken, lips bloodless, lost for words. "Adrian, search your heart. Did you fly all this way because you truly love me, or just because my absence feels strange for the moment?" I'd say it's the latter. If I hadn't ended things, if we'd kept limping along, you'd still be pining for Serena. She's the white moon hung high over your heart. At most, I'm her shadow. Since that's the case, we'd better cut our losses now. For both our sakes, go win Serena back. I poured every thought out in one breath, surprisingly calm, as if recounting someone else's story. Cold sweat dotted Adrian's forehead, his teacup clattered to the table. The scalding water soaked his hands, but he didn't flinch, he only stared at me and asked, "Can you give me one chance to make this right? In the past I never considered your feelings." I raised my hand again, cutting him off, then couldn't help laughing. "No need. Any more explanations are too late, I don't want to hear them. Every time I compromised, I was already giving you a chance, you just never knew how to treasure it. Check please, waiter." I stood to leave. "Luna." Tears shimmered in his eyes, he grabbed my sleeve and pleaded, "Everything before was my fault. Please believe me this once, give me another chance to love you, please?" 6 years of feelings, 6 years of slow self-destruction, I'm losing handfuls of hair. Please stop hounding me. Can't we end this with a little dignity? I threw the question back at him, shook off his hand, and strode out of the Chinese restaurant. Outside, the drizzle continued. I didn't look back, didn't even think to offer him an umbrella. I thought he'd give up, but he chased after me again. "Luna, listen to me." The clinginess repelled me. I kept walking without turning, but he caught my arm. "Luna, you've always been in my heart, it's just I've been messed up since I was a kid, watch out." Mid-sentence he shoved me aside. A car shot past and slammed into him, he crumpled, unconscious. I called an ambulance and then phoned Mom to explain everything. After emergency care the doctors said his life wasn't in danger, but his leg was fractured, he needed surgery and 3 or 4 months of recovery. Mom covered the bills and hired a private aide. That night when Adrian woke and saw Mom beside him he greeted her at once, "Uncle, Aunt, thank you." Since he had pushed me clear of the crash, Mom's manner wasn't hostile, she gave a slight nod. "Uncle, Aunt, please talk to Luna, beg her to give me one more chance to love her. I can't lose her," he wept. Dad drew a long breath. "My daughter swallowed every insult to move to your city, how did you treat her? You never gave her the slightest care." Mom chimed in, "Which friends kiss each other? Which boyfriend abandons his girlfriend to look after another woman? You and Serena acted like a couple, how was my daughter supposed to feel? Her message was clear, no help from them. Actually. Adrian glanced at me, hesitated, then confessed, Serena was never really interested in me, she only looks me up when she's bored, she enjoys being adored. I love Luna. At first I didn't care much, but gradually I fell for her. Hearing that, 2 words flashed through my mind, serves you right. And weren't you enjoying my daughter's care just as much? Mom shot back. You knew Serena was stringing you along, so why keep running to her? Dad demanded. Cornered by the questions, Adrian fell silent. Adrian, you're just unwilling to accept defeat. No matter how many times you ask, my answer is the same, we have no future. I finished, took Mom's arm, and left. Afterward I phoned the consulate to report Adrian's accident. The consulate called back saying Adrian wanted to see me one last time. I walked out under an umbrella but didn't go to the hospital. I simply wandered the streets, listening to the patter of rain, savoring the calm. Since love is gone, cut it clean. Part ways, never meet again. Extra chapter, Adrian's view. I lay in the hospital bed, thoughts churning. When Luna first confessed to me, Serena had just rejected me, again. And Luna looked a bit like Serena, gentle and thoughtful, so I said yes. As time passed I wanted to be with her, she was so soft, so devoted. Then Serena came back from Paris. My heart wavered again, I drifted towards Serena and ignored Luna's feelings. That day I noticed a lot of things missing from the apartment, the framed photos of Luna and me had vanished. Was Luna planning to break up? The thought flickered, but I brushed it off. The night of the party I assumed Luna would sulk and return as usual, but this time she stayed away, no answer, no reply. I panicked, tried to be nicer, even suggested the Riverside Fair. Yet Serena fell ill again. After wavering, the same old demon won, I went to look after Serena. Luna showed no anger, I thought she'd compromised once more, but this time she left. The apartment was empty, everything connected to her had disappeared. Her phone stayed off, messages unread. Alone at home, I felt hollow for the first time, my chest actually ached. The next few days were torture. No one cooked. No one's bright chatter filled the rooms. Out of habit I called for Luna to hand me something, only silence answered. It felt like I'd been abandoned. Friends invited me out, I had no mood to go. Serena came over. When I told her, she smirked and said Luna was just her stand-in, no big deal. She even called Luna mean girl, claiming she'd deliberately seduced me by resembling Serena. For the first time I lost my temper with Serena and slapped her. She slapped me back, stormed out, blocked and deleted me. After that I hid the trip from everyone and flew to Italy alone, hoping to win Luna back. I roamed the streets every day. At last I spotted a familiar silhouette. I was overjoyed, shouting her name, but the moment she turned, my heart went cold. Her gaze was icy, looking at me like a stranger. I still tried to explain, to salvage us. Yet every sentence from Luna and her parents left me speechless. I had ignored Luna's feelings. I hadn't known how to cherish her. Letting my heart waver was my fault. Having Luna's love was the greatest honor of my life. She isn't anyone's stand-in. She's uniquely, brilliantly herself. But by the time I understood, she had already walked out of reach. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If you liked the video, hit like and share with friends. We're looking forward to your comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time.